Okay, guys, I'm going to get started. Excited to do this for Rick and his guys to just talk a little football today. Just to introduce myself in this first part of the presentation so everybody has an idea who I am. My name is Jared Rolfes. I'm the offensive coordinator at Oak Grove High School, which is in Winston, Salem, North Carolina, in the Triad region. Entering year 6 at this particular school. Have spent a lot of time as a head coach prior to that, as well as working on the offensive side of the ball. My contact information is listed on the screen. Email, phone number, my Twitter account, different things, different ways you can communicate with me if you have any questions after we go through this stuff today. So let's jump right into this. A little bit about me, just so you kind of understand my background. Married, have 3 kids, Braxton, Brinley, and Neeson, all involved in sports. I've been a high school coach and a teacher for 20 years, mostly in the special education realm. I've taught PE as well. 11 years as a head coach and then 9 years as an assistant coach. Most of that time I've spent as an offensive coordinator. I've taught and coached in multiple states just due to different moves related to my wife and early on in our schooling and her schooling and just being back home in Ohio, but then moving to North Carolina about 12 years ago. Again, as I said, I'm entering year 6 as the offensive coordinator here at Oak Grove. I've spent 5 years and entering, I think, my 6th coaching my son's flag football team, which is one of my favorite things to coach. I spent 1 year coaching his 5th and 6th grade tackle team as well. It kind of ran in conjunction with our varsity schedule, and I was able to make that work in the fall of 23 and had a lot of fun doing that. And just believe in coaching education. I attend a lot of clinics and do a lot of online study and different things as well, just like a lot of you are doing today. So what are we and what did we want to accomplish in coming up with this, this new age option attack that we have? We wanted to break the trend of traditional spread stuff that you see everywhere to be able to run the football with a heavy success rate, to maximize the type of quarterback that we typically get and their backup so that they could be successful no matter the situation. And really something that was unique, kind of cutting edge, tough to prepare for, and really that was different than what other people were doing. We wanted to reinvigorate the traditions of complements such as play action pass and the boot game and misdirection and things that we felt in old school offenses made such a big difference that have kind of gone away a little bit in the new age realm of the spread world. Something that would look the same but neutralize talent. When you play teams that might be a little bit better than you, sometimes it's nice to have something that's so difficult to prepare for that those teams are a little bit more neutralized from a talent standpoint. And then the last one is flexible approach that could be altered to fit talent year to year, especially at the quarterback position. Our first year, kind of in the full-blown version of this, we had a quarterback who was electric running the ball, sub 4.5 in the 40. Last year, we had a sophomore who started who was not that. He wasn't super electric, but he read the run well and did some other things well. So he kind of swung in a little bit different direction with some things, but the core of what we did stays the same. And we try to protect him with some of the stuff that we do that either is option or presents like option. All right, so a couple group and team drills that have high value for us, and I'm sure for you too. Obviously, the team teach period I mentioned is usually at the beginning or kind of after individual and some of our early group stuff. And during that time, we might be doing team teach. It might be partially a screen period on air or a pre-practice drill where we're doing a scout team with some of our, our backups, if you will, to kind of just give a simulation of a defense so that when we go out there, we have a really, really good feel for what we're going to get. And I really think over the last 2 years, that's helped us the way that our head coach has kind of designed the practice plan, because I feel like everything's a lot slower right now. And so during that 10-minute period, we're able to really get a lot accomplished, and our defense feels the same way. The backfield mesh, whether you're an option team or not, we're a triple option team from the gun, but this is an important drill for us. But if you run inside zone or you're an option, or you're a counter team out of the gun or whatever it may be, you still got to mesh the backfield. You got to make sure that those timing mechanisms are on point. You reduce the number of potential turnovers. And for us, we're working the dive and the pitch phase and all that stuff too. Ball drills, ball agility, ball security. So our running backs coach does a really good job with all the first couple things there. He likes certain individual drills that he does, but he addresses all that stuff. And then ball security and ball drills, with our other skill guys, receivers, for example. It's funny, myself and our O-line coach during the special teams period will run like a ball drill segment where we're coaching the look in and all that stuff, like I mentioned with my flag guys. Half line option or half line zone read drill, we do that sometimes where we cut the line in half and go right and left. Routes on air, this is a really big period for our passing game. We just kind of time everything up and get everybody comfortable with the depth of the routes. And where that looks. Sometimes it's mirrored and it's run on both sides. Sometimes it's full concept, whatever you need to work on that day. 7-on-7 and Skelly. I think this helps both sides of the ball. Like, for example, when we're playing, we're running a scout offense for our starting defense. our backup receivers and running backs are getting reps and our backup quarterback's getting reps. It might not be exactly our stuff, but they're getting reps during that time, and there's a lot of value in that. And the same thing's true with, when we're running our varsity ones, our, second defensive players are getting reps on defense. So I think the Skelly period is a great way to get, and we run multiple groups. So when we run a scout offense against our defense, we will have 1 to 3 groups based on the number of kids we have available, where we rotate them in and they come and get the next card and look at the route combinations. One-on-ones with DBs and receivers. So this is kind of a mix of whether it's route running, singular blocking, screen blocking. We do a variety of different things in that segment. We do half field stuff where it's like quick game half field, or quick game and screens half field. And then our O-line and D-line might be doing pass rush, blitz pickup. There might be a walkthrough period for pass protection, which our O-line coach likes to do sometimes to make sure everybody's comfortable with what they're going to get. And then obviously everybody does a team period, where you're going to go 11 on 11. But I think it's important to ask yourself, like, what are you trying to get out of that? Are you trying to get them to feel the stress of a game? If so, like, how is it set up? For us, like, we try to go really, really fast and get the ball spotted so there's a little bit of stress during practice, even though we don't always play at that pace. And we try to make sure that there's nobody in the vicinity or near the field that can get in the way, if you will, as well. The other thing we do in team is we do situational stuff. So as we progress through the week, we're going to work on third downs. We're going to work on our red zone package. We're going to work on our 2-minute drill. We're going to work on our 4-minute drill. And so all those situations can come up in a game. And so, we practice third down broken into 3 parts: third and short, third and medium, and third and long. And we focus heavily on short and medium because that's where we want to spend most of our time. And our package is just limited in third and long. And then in the red zone, we work different situations based on if we have a unique package that we've installed, a heavy set. For example, this year we had a heavy set. We bring in some defenders who were big, strong bodies that could block, and we had one kid who could carry the ball. And so we were in kind of a power ride, double tight set, and we would just get after people with that. So, in those periods, we're working kind of a variety of things to kind of make sure we're good in terms of what we're trying to accomplish. So practice starter ideas, kind of a great way to get your practices going. Sometimes a competitive start is a really good way we've done this over the years, where we might do a goal line drill, 3 plays inside the 10, ones-on-ones, and we're getting after it a little bit, and it usually ends in somebody's mad, we need another down, that sort of thing. But it gives you a competitive start. 2-minute offense, I gave a scenario earlier about that, where playoff game, I think it was a Tuesday, Wednesday practice. We did a ones-on-ones 2-minute drill, and we rotated our ones in, and we put our twos in. And it was super competitive on both sides of the ball. And it gave us the chance as play callers, the offense and defense, to kind of call on the fly, not call off a script. Play the game 1st and 10, good on good. You could just do, obviously a 1st and 10 situation. Red zone, competitive situation, third down. We did this a lot 3 years ago. We would run best on best, third down, who was the best in 6 plays. And so we would, try to figure out ways to combat each other. And then special teams, we usually run our varsity against our JV, not necessarily to bang too much, but just for placement in that regard. And then typical stuff that we do is pre-practice, pat and go stuff, ball security, ball drills, like I mentioned, the catching related stuff, ball carrier, agility. Our running backs coach does that. Perfect plays, on-air team teach, team play walkthroughs. Sometimes during special teams, I'll take a small segment of the skill players and work through some stuff. And then special teams, extra indie time group review, or during special teams, extra indie time group review, screen period on air, that sort of thing. So there's a couple of things you can accomplish. So just a few examples I'm going to show you visually here. Pat and go drill, we have done this pretty much every single year as a way to kind of get warmed up. Traditional drill, we try to use a line or the number set. So if you have a yard line, you can actually put your kids here and form the line so it runs this way. And the whole goal is to get them to hug the line vertically. And we run it as a half-speed drill. And when the ball's in the air and it comes over their shoulder, it's going to pull them off that vertical line and kind of get them into that fade concept. So what's that's simulating, obviously, a ball that's down the field and that is pulling you away from a defender who might be running your hip, and it teaches the quarterback ball placement to the outside to pull them off that linear track. So we kind of run this on a rotation. Our quarterbacks will be in groups, and then we kind of run it down here, and they bring the balls back, and they keep rotating in that little square. So that's a really good drill for, kind of arm warm-ups and get the quarterbacks and receivers on the same page.